I think it's a really amazing and special experience that they've started and that will hopefully keep on going for many more years to come.
Sharon and Jerry Miller are the founders of Trailways Camps. Trailways began with the Millers' vision of seeing a better quality of life for adults with special needs and respite opportunities for their families. Trailways Camps create opportunities for physical, emotional, and spiritual development. Putting relationships together is very important for the Millers, and what they wanted to focus on were the people. This film will follow the journey of 6 campers back into their homes and show the impact that Trailways Camp had on their lives and the joy they brought back home to their own family.
When our son Robert died, I continued in my just inherent faith that nothing's impossible, that we would get through all this and we still had our other children and our son, and we would just do something meaningful. We would do something meaningful. And you know, meaningful meant that all the doors were open. Nothing would be impossible. It would be like everything else that's happened in our lives. And so we stepped out in faith and we took one step after another because we feel, both Jerry and I, that each person is a child of God and is loved by God. And that was our duty and became our passion to let that love guide what we do.
Okay, this is Grandpa Jerry. This is Uncle Lou. This is Uncle Rob. This is Uncle Ben. This is my mom, Christina. And this is Grandma.
Working with adults with disabilities is a special challenge because most of the parents who have an adult child have had a lot of difficulty, a lot of failures in the community because there's not a lot of services out there or places they can trust to have their adult child go to that is an environment that they're comfortable with.
My mother's mother was blind. I grew up with somebody who had, I'm not even sure what the right term is anymore, but had an impairment. My grandfather one day made me walk the mall blind. And he held my hand the whole time. And I remember that in being JCPenney running into a clothes rack with my grandfather. He goes, just to see.
It's almost like we have to give ourselves the freedom to like really engage in order to overcome those fears and overcome those uncomforts that we have going into it. And I think that's what happens there. You begin to let your guard down because their guards are down. They're you know, the campers at Trailways seem to be completely open and almost vulnerable to new people that they meet. And that does something on the inside of you where you begin to let your guard down and let your fears and your preconceived notions go so that you can interact and you can engage. And I think that's part of the transformation that happens to the volunteer. Ultimately, it changes who you are in the long run.
When Allison comes home from Trailways Camp, the things that she is most excited about is the thing that she was the most afraid of when she went there. Meaning, the first thing she tells me after each camp session is whatever it was that she cried about, whether it be the water skiing, the first time she went water skiing and how proud she was of herself that she was able to do it, or the canoeing, or walking across the log. Those are things that are impressed upon her mind that she was able to accomplish while she was at Trailways Camp, above and beyond all of the fun that she had.
I was scared at first to water ski, but I did it. But I was really proud of myself at the end. The first time I went to camp, Oh, I got hit in the face by a worm when I was fishing.
She did have a lot of health issues as she was growing up. She was in and out of the hospital a lot, probably from the age of 2 on up until she was about 7 years old. But that never held her back, that never stopped her. Once when she was about 17, 18 years old is when she began to lose her balance and coordination, and that gradually, she declined until she had to begin using a walker for mobility.
All these 3 pictures were from my first year of cheering, but all these other pictures are from my 2nd year of cheering. And I'm gonna have a lot more pictures. That's my showcase. This is my mom and I at my high school graduation. This is my dad. I really never get to see him because he lives in New Jersey.
Allison is such an independent person. It's hard to see her as a physically disabled person. And when I had first heard of Trailways Camp, I thought it was for mostly wheelchair-bound individuals. I wasn't sure how structured it was, and I had a lot of concerns. Once I began to become more familiar with Trailways Camp, I realized that they had a great deal of structure and they were very well developed.
She was happy to hear that because she knew how much I wanted to go.
Let's see, Allison loves Trailways Camp so much that she really wanted to be able to be involved on a more in-depth level. So she became a volunteer at Trailways. What they've done is exceptional.
This is my fishing medal, and this is my teamwork medal. This is the first time I went to camp. This is the 2nd time I went to camp.
It's okay to ask for help, right? Yeah. Good. All right, so next time you tell me I can't do this, or I can't do that, what am I going to say to you? Yes, you can.
Allison, you have never complained about having to use a walker. I can't imagine a 27-year-old in the height of their young adult life having to use a walker. She's just a very resilient person. I hope that she never gives up, always continues to strive to enjoy every bit of life. You just continue to live life to the fullest.
There's a group that I call the Protecting Mothers Club, who are protecting, rightly so, and want to make sure that that this camp they're going to go to is going to be safe for their child.
The whole scene is beautiful, you know. You've got the land and it's on the river.
We're going to show God's love through our actions, our attitudes. Our job is to do extreme Christian hospitality, that we can open camp up to everybody. And that's one of the things that I have a big passion for, is making this whole camp accessible. Not just people in wheelchairs, but people with every disability, seen and unseen.
They're able to live in a free way, in an environment that's built for them.
One of the things that I've learned as a parent of 2 babies who had and have really unique challenges is that you experience a lot of failure. And it's not failure in the sense that you can really do anything about. It's not guilt, although you do have a period of guilt, but I'm with you when your child doesn't act the way somebody's supposed to act when we go out, or people would prefer they weren't in a restaurant or they weren't in the public pool. I think these are also unique opportunities. They're opportunities to decide who you are. They're opportunities to decide how will I look at what's beautiful about this person? How will I try to feed that? How will I share who they are and who I am with other people? And I think when I came to that point, when my faith just led me to believe that, not just say that, then none of that other stuff mattered. What I do know, though, is it matters when I talk to you. It matters that you know I've been there, that you can trust me. I can't make things perfect. I can't make things always 100% so-so. But my heart you got. My heart you got.
Anthony is a very, very good boy. He's always happy. He listens to Dad. I'm proud of him. He helps Daddy with the garden. But he's a very good boy. He's always happy. If he would have known me and my wife when he took her to the hospital, she was pregnant, the cord wrapped around his neck. And my wife told me, I think there's something wrong. And she was right. He always wants to take care of Dad. He's always outside planting plants with seeds and stuff like that. He loves it out there. He's like me. I love plants. He loves plants.
I got that when I was fishing. I caught a catfish and a Timmins bass. Yeah, biggest fish caught.
How did you feel when you caught it?
Excited.
I thought it was kind of cool. Once I went in there, I said, wow, this is cool.
Did you miss your mom or dad?
No.
Thanks, buddy.
My mom took a picture of a porcupine.
Oh, really?
And her name's Penny.
Penny the porcupine.
Yeah. It was just like that.
I thought it was a good idea. He likes to be with other kids, you know. I want to thank him very much. I think they're doing a great job. Just keep up, buddy. Keep up the good work. You're doing fantastic. You look good. Keep walking around the block. Start looking slick there. I'm proud of you.
You met her. What did you think of Jessie?
I thought she was cute.
Oh, my boy.
Thank you, Anthony.
My dreams, I love him as much, you know, any man can love his son. He's a good boy. Takes care of me. I don't have to worry about him. As long as Dad is alive, that boy stays with me. I said, if Daddy needs help, would you take care of Dad? What do you say, Anthony? Would you take care of Daddy if I need help?
Yeah.
See that? And you know, what man can ask for more?
What we think is something that's gone wrong really could, I don't know, maybe our perspective is skewed on how things are right and wrong. The way that a person is wired, you know, and how that person fits into our society, when God, the Creator, is the one that we attribute to putting us together.
What I thought was really cool and what surprised me was how well the campers got along with each other. I've been around Ben for almost my whole life, and I was around Rob for a long time, so I just think it's really cool that they started something like this, and the main thing that I think about is to have it keep going.
They're just kids. They're just kids in Christ's heart. That's all who we all are. And so that's what camp's all about. It's a great equalizer.
There are days that are hard. There are days that are very hard. There are weeks that are very hard. No, I don't have regrets. We probably didn't know what we were getting into, to be perfectly honest. When we first adopted her, they told us the doctor from Poland diagnosed her with something called spinal muscular atrophy. We thought when we first adopted her, well, that's what was in store. A few years and that was it. We took her to a bunch of doctors, and it was a little inconclusive because no one really has a clear history. It's all written in Polish. They attempted to translate it, but it's not real clear. So they kind of backed off that diagnosis maybe by the time she was 12, 13 years old. And now they just think it's a form of a muscular neuropathy.
I was adopted when I was little. Right here is me, like right there. These are my soccer trophies. I've been playing for 9 years now. This one is 2016 top soccer athletes.
We met Anya when she was just turned 6 years old. We had put in the paperwork to adopt, and the lady at the adoption agency says there's a young girl, a little girl at the Gabriel house. Do you want to go meet her? We did. We met her. She couldn't speak a word of English. Someone taught her to say, "I love you too." She grabbed a hold of our hand, took her to some little playroom and said, "I love you too." That was on a Thursday. By Saturday, she was in our house.
I came from Poland, and I was at the airport and there's like cameras pointing right at me when I was getting off the plane, and I was like, why are cameras pointing at me? Like, am I a star? Am I a superstar? Am I like, what's happening? This is a painting that someone did for me, special. It's supposed to be me. We did a talent show. These are different awards that I got. We did baseball, basketball. I was the youngest camper for all of them. Most talented camper, I did singing.
Well, she had never been away from home before, at a camp or anything like that before, but she was also at the time, gosh, probably 18, 19 years old. So it's about time to become more independent.
We got a birdhouse that I did. I hammered the bottom, which is right here. I put my name on it. It's my favorite color.
And I think it probably gave her a little bit of independence as well, because she was away from home for a couple of days.
I went to Goodwill Life Academy. I just graduated high school. It was very emotional because it was my first year graduating high school. I had a lot of people come to my graduation.
I think she's a little bit more open now to maybe trying something when I bring an idea home, because this was such a positive experience.
When I first came to Trailways Camp, it was kind of scared at first. My favorite thing was kayaking. I went water skiing, and this is what I did. I was kind of scared at first, and we did it a second time, but this time they let me go by myself. Pretty proud of myself.
I hope that Anya continues to grow in maturity. I hope she continues to learn. I have hopes that someday she could even be semi-independent. Those are my hopes for her.
And there are a lot of bright, intelligent, wonderful people in Southwest Florida here that can build on what we have done with ideas. We don't know the number in Southwest Florida. We think it's at least 1,000. So that's one of my objectives, to continue to expand and find those people out there who we know are there, who could use and avail themselves of this wonderful camping experience.
Tiffany was born with a hole in her heart and fluid on her lungs. So right from the get-go, it was a struggle. When the doctors tell you they're not going to make it past this, you got to keep encouraging. You got to keep loving. It's like a spiritual thing. I keep telling her God watches us, and He allows these things to happen for us.
I've been at Trailways Camp 2 times. My favorite thing's going on the hayride. I went to visit with Ben.
The doctors told us that she probably wouldn't come out of the hospital, and she was about 6 or 7 at that point. That's all you were doing. You were on your knees praying, please don't let nothing happen to her. Don't take her away from me. As you see now, she's very alive and well, very obnoxious. No, I'm just kidding.
First, I got scared to do canoeing, and I did it in the race. I have fun.
She will not go anywhere, anywhere. She'll go, and then she'll call me in 2 hours. I can't stay. I got to get picked up right now. So I was real worried because she was going a long ways from home to go, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, please don't call me in 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and tell me I got to come out and get you. But she ended up staying, and I think it was the warmness that she felt from the friends.
When I met her for the talent show, in the talent show I seen Diamond in the Sky.
Talent show, she loved that. That's all she talked about. And then she brought the video out. And we must have watched that thing 100 times because it was, you gotta see so-and-so. You gotta see how they acted. You should have seen her sing. And it was like, really? So I knew that she really, really enjoyed it.
I wanted to ask you something.
Okay, ask me.
Well, I had a friend live in the Groupon. He named Jermaine, and he wanted to find out how he signed up for camp.
How did you sign up for camp?
Online.
She's normally always home with me. So to have her somewhere I knew she was safe and secure, I was able to let my guard down. She was like, I wasn't scared, I wanted to stay all night. And then when I went to pick her up, she didn't want to come home. At this point in time, she's really, really showed me her inner strength. She has showed me how strong she really can be. I wouldn't trade her for nothing. I wouldn't trade anything that we've been through. I wouldn't trade anything that we've ever experienced. And independence is crucial right now because I keep trying to tell her you can't always rely on somebody. I just want her to have every opportunity possible so that when I'm not here, she can survive and not be scared. We are so grateful to have you guys offering this opportunity for us.
What we hope is that when they return home, they're going to remember that they were loved, that they were allowed to make choices, that they got to be a star on a talent show stage. We want them to take symbols of those possibility moments. And I hope I would see smiles on the faces of their family members or their caregivers because they've chattered away about, you know what we did at Trailways Camp? You know what I did?
Well, I think he had a pretty good childhood, Jeremy did. We started speaking sign language very young age. He learns new signs and I have to tell him to slow down. We are very adventurous. We enjoy going and doing and seeing, and I think the more it's come into his adult life, he's adventurous for anything. He loves to learn and he's like a sponge. He just loves to learn. Learn about new things. Yeah. Go and see things. The first time we heard about Trailways Camp, we just were excited because there's not a whole lot of things for folks like my son to do. Okay, Mom's gonna sign. You sign back, okay? Jeremy's been twice. You've been to camp twice? Yes? Did you like the camp? Did you have fun at the camp? What do you remember? Do you remember going water skiing? And making a birdhouse? Do you remember that? Did you like that and have fun?
What was Jeremy's favorite thing he did at camp?
Basketball.
Basketball?
What was Jeremy's thing we did at camp was basketball. Did you catch some fish? Did you go fishing? Did you have fun? How many fish? 10? 10 fish? Wow.
That's a lot of fish.
What do you like best about the campfire? What's the most fun about the fire? Do you roast marshmallows? Make chocolate? Yeah? Do you sing? He hasn't spoke a word, has he? Was you scared to go to camp? No, it was fun, yes. Yeah. Anything else you want to say? What do you want to say? You're a good dude. Are you hot? No?
You're good.
Are you tired?
No.
Are you happy? Yeah. It's a movie.
Oh.
It's recording. Wow.
You're the cameraman now.
Cameraman. Camp. He's talking more than he has been. He's telling everybody how we're moving and going to Tennessee.
Oh.
And we're gonna find a new house. He's spelling my name. That's what he's doing. He's spelling my name. New house in Knoxville. Yo, look at that. That was it.
Come on.
Look at
that was the smile that Mama loved.
I hope Jeremy just gets to live his life to the fullest that he can. just to learn as much as he can learn and to experience as much as he can experience.
Someone not being used to adults with disabilities like myself wouldn't just jump in their world. You have to be invited by their warmth and their welcoming of who you are, you know. I just remember, you know, I remember a couple of times where it really caught me off guard when the camper would glance down at my name tag for a split second and say, "Hey Brad, how are you doing?"
Why are dogs like trees? Because they both have bark.
Michael was born preemie. He was born at 6 months instead of 9, and 40% of premature babies have developmental delays, and this is one of them. So while physically there's absolutely no problem at all, he's got a black belt in Taekwondo, he ballroom dances, anything with a lot of repetition he can do very, very easily.
My name is Michael Nelson, and I've been attending Trailways Camp, and it's a great place to be.
I thought, what a neat thing. Michael's never been to camp, and this might be a great opportunity for him to meet some other kids and have fun. So we signed him up, and he loved it.
The water skiing was great, and the talent show was great, and decorating pumpkins, and the horses that came into camp. We did s'mores and Graham crackers.
And I bet that's the first time he ever had s'mores in his life was when he went to camp. What'd you get?
This trophy right here was my very first time I went to camp in October. And I was the most involved camper there. And I got a trophy for it.
He did everything.
Then the second time I was at Trailways Camp, I got this plaque that said I was the most involved. And then I got this necklace here for working together in our art class. We all did so good that we got a medal off of it. It was like, yay, we did it.
Michael went to the Goodwill Life Academy, and he was the very first graduate from that school. We're proud of him for everything, just as long as he tries things. He always tries things. I said, Michael, try the dancing, try the camp, try this food, try.
I will say to my mom that thank you for telling me to try everything because I've done it all and I'm not so boring.
Do you have anything else you want to say about me or Trailways Camp or Goodwill or anything?
I think it's a wrap. I did good. What?
Tell them about the fishing and the different tournaments and things that they have about how. Say at Trailways Camp, I really enjoy the fishing.
At Trailways Camp, I really enjoyed the fishing. Have not got a trophy yet for the biggest or smallest yet, but one day I'll get there.
You're working on it, right? You tried it. You're trying, right?
I would love to see Michael dance with his mother.
What would you like to do, kid?
Tango.
No, not tango. Let's do some rumba. Our long-term hopes for Michael in the future is to be as independent as possible, to have friends that he can go out with, be able to take care of himself for the most part with some guidance. We push him. We're trying to get everything out of this kid that we can.
Joy of having their son or daughter come back from an experience like this and have us say to you, thank you. Thank you for sharing your life with us. Thank you for sharing your son or daughter with us.
Thank you for entrusting your child with us for this short time, and we hope that they come back and be a part of our I Am Special. Wouldn't it be a wonderful thing that 10, 15, 20 years from now, we had an event in Fort Myers with 1,000 special needs adults all enjoying and have a wonderful time.
If I could say anything to Sharon and Jerry, I'd thank them for everything they've done, for all that they're doing for these folks, because they really need, and along with Goodwill, it takes a village.
Just thank you so much for starting the camp. You know, that there wasn't anything that I knew of around here, and then it's turned out to be a great thing for us and for Michael.
It's a blessing, so thank you, Jerry and Sharon, from the bottom of our hearts.
First thing I told my parents was it was a great time at the Trailways Camp. It was fun.
And I asked him, do you want to go back?
And I said, heck yeah!
We may never know how to measure the positive changes Trailways Camps has on an individual with special needs, or how new friendships can influence their lives. If love can be measured with hugs, or happiness counted with smiles, then perhaps this invisible veil between the needy and the needed will become smaller with each Trailways campfire. Experience the joy of Trailways by volunteering, perhaps funding an activity, field trip, or sponsoring a new camper, someone you may already know, for this amazing journey called Trailways Camps.